Yeah, and then let's get into the game. So for you guys, last time was basically meeting five
RenderForce.com.
persons interested in getting you guys temporarily to set up base in their city, country, that kind of stuff. Um,
Mhm.
I would guess that like afterwards, or maybe the day afterwards, you guys would have like a small meeting with everyone there, discussing about like what has been discussed, how you feel about it, which might be like you basically have a meeting on choosing which one place you want to go to. I'm not gonna make you guys role play that because that's gonna be very difficult, especially with players having two characters. And basically, like it could be like going to the most boring place for the game because of the in-game characters want. So I would say like you guys decide, and for some reason that just happens.
So we're deciding on a character. Fair enough.
Do you guys like need a small reminder of what the five options are?
Hmm. Let's see. We had underwater Disneyland.
Underwater security detail on a place you can't escape from. Crash test dummies for a company in Britain who wanted us to experiment with experimental technologies. Yeah.
They saw it more as sponsoring your guys with equipment than actually using you as test dummies.
It's essentially the same thing.
Well,
It's
like
essentially the same thing.
persons would
Not
have
really.
tested it, like test dummies would have been done, but basically you would have been the first heroes to use the equipment.
The first beyond humans.
Yeah.
The first
And
meta-humans,
later
I should
on-
say.
And later on, of course, they'll test them on the normal humans once they realize it's safe for metahumans.
You know, they would have tested it on normal humans, like in a safe spot, but not like in the field. Like you do the first
Right.
in field testing.
To be 100% honest, I actually am not like caring one way or the other. Like if I had to out of character, right? If I had to out of character, let's see. First up, let me remember how many like what all we had. We had fucking Disneyland Atlantis, which was a nightmare for one of our people. Then we had the Britain, which wanted to test. You know, again, they wanted us to do a field test their new equipment. We had the Russian guy who was, I think it was Russian. Was it Russian?
Yeah, Russian.
Okay, I didn't know exactly which country they had from. But the Russian guy who was basically like had dealt with clones and stuff like that. That one seemed pretty okay. What were the other two though?
Don't forget the Russian guy promised you to put some light on some mysteries.
That's true.
The other two were from Vienna. Was a goblin cyclops mix.
Oh
Some
yeah.
fantasy setting like. And there was Paris, which basically the only difference there was that you guys would, next to your superhero jobs, would need actual jobs.
I mean, I guess that wouldn't be that bad.
No. I mean, we could do the Britain and Paris one at the same time.
Don't know about that. This isn't jobs. This is us setting up a base, not jobs.
Yeah, like London wouldn't be like, oh yeah, let's sponsor this team while they're working for a different city. They're
That's fair.
So yeah, I honestly like my vote. Unless we get into like a fucking tiebreaker, I don't actually care.
So from the vibe I'm getting from you guys, like the Atlantis Disneyland, like probably not going there.
Because of one specific member on our team.
Yeah, but I like I think like the most of the team would like agree that the guy is a little bit sketchy, maybe.
Yeah.
She
Kenneth actually
believes
didn't think he was that bad.
she believes she's got some valid points. There's only one way in, one way out, and yet they're still having security issues. There's a problem there.
Yeah, like
Listen.
he said, most of security issues were like his experiments going wrong. Like there's some criminal because people live there, and stuff. But yeah, sometimes he says like, yeah, I need some protection for like some of my inventions just in case.
And the whole underwater phobia.
Yes, we get it. That's what I was referring to earlier.
Yeah.
Again, there's one specific
I
person
think-
on the
I
team
think-
who literally refuses to go into the place.
I think
despite
Josh would
it being
agree.
a good choice.
Like, you know, being like
Josh has
close
every
space.
phobia.
Yeah, right. I think he would agree on that one.
Josh has every phobia, for fuck's sake. I mean, I even in real life, I have that phobia. Yet I'm not actually that against going there if I need to. But anyway, all right, fair enough. We can put that one on the back burner. No big deal. What do you guys think about the Britain idea in general?
Whoops, not a fan.
Guys, hello.
Yes.
What's not a fan?
No, he doesn't trust it.
Okay. What about you? What about you, Hydra?
Nessa would be fine with that one. Like,
Yes.
Nessa would go for the Britain one, the Paris, and the Russian one just fine.
You don't like Vienna?
Oh, Vienna, oh, right. Any of the ones above water, totally okay.
So your vote is literally the other four other than the water one. Okay.
Vienna was the forest. What was Paris again?
Wait, was which one again? Sorry.
What was Paris? Vienna was the
Paris
was
is
the
more like
forest.
like it's more artistic based city.
Oh, Paris is the forest. Okay.
No. Like the more foresty area is Vienna with more magical creatures. Paris
Okay.
is a more like, you know, people are more free to do stuff. You guys would have jobs, and the academy for like beginning heroes starting there.
Okay.
Oh, so we basically go to school.
Well, you wouldn't go to school, but some of the former
Sure, someone
NPCs,
would.
some NPCs,
So-
you guys know.
Maybe even one of our PCs who happens to be the age of going to school.
No, that has been discussed. she is still considered too dangerous at this point to be like,
Explosive.
yeah, like, yo, we have this potential group of like superheroes who can be like the best heroes in the future. Let's place this girl that can explode next to them. They're like, let's first let her control her powers near the expendable guys.
Oh, I see how it is.
We
Whip
are
is
technically the
expendable.
Expendables.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know you are, but Whip isn't.
Oh wait. Don't be starting, Jim.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
He's expendable in the case that he is like very low risk to destroy. Like, he's hard to destroy. That's one. And two, he.
Nobody cares about him.
Yeah, he's still a high risk, like a danger to people if he would go rogue. Like, they're like, yeah, he's dead, but you know, at least he didn't go bad, didn't go evil.
I don't know.
Let's base it in like proportions of characters. Like, okay, Whip doesn't want to go to England. He's getting a potential there.
England, it sounds like a trap to him. The Paris sounds like a bad idea. The whole place is meant to be a prison, not a happy-go-lucky summer camp. And the forest sounds like a bad idea because the last thing he wants to deal with are hippie vampire werewolf zombies and everyone in the building turning into hippie werewolf vampire zombies along with the powers they already have and him having to deal with it.
So what you're saying is Whip is a paranoid asshole and is literally going to say no at everything.
Oh, Russia's
he's-
still open, I think, for him.
Russia is open and the Italy water park is open.
Well, we've already said. Well, unfortunately, you've gotten a vote against the water park already,
Yeah.
Don't forget.
and you've also got a vote against Russia because Kenneth doesn't want to go to Russia.
Why doesn't Kenneth want to go to Russia?
He doesn't like the cold. That's literally the entire reason.
Well, that's something that's overcomable, right? They probably have some
Yeah,
place in the
true,
future
but
that
still, that he would vote against it because he doesn't like the cold. Either way, but okay. So Jib, you said you're voting for Waterworld or Russia, right?
Yeah, that would be Whip's votes.
Okay. What about
Pyre? Pyre
Yeah.
would not say no to any of them. All of them sound
Good.
interesting, but the ones that would probably interest her the most.
Would Pyre be interested in the other water city, knowing she can like, or is that like extra interesting, knowing that if she goes like super, that like all this water comes?
Yeah. She won't die from drowning. She'll just reappear somewhere else in a blaze.
I'm thinking that she would be at least a little bit against England, seeing that if one of those technology things goes wrong,
she'll be blamed for it. Yeah, and considering the bad press against heroes, she'll probably not want to go there.
Yeah, those are the most like against heroes part.
Yeah. Yeah, all of them except Britain are a yes for her.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of Russia or not. The cold wouldn't bother her, but going to space would terrify her.
Yeah, but that was an option. That was not like you have to go.
Okay.
That was an
If
option.
going to space is like a thing that she doesn't have to do, then she'll be okay with all of them then.
That was more like fun if like you guys want to focus more on Pyre and Kenneth, and then you can sometimes send like one of them into space, like W.I.P or Entropy or Kenneth to.
Let's be fair here.
No,
Gaining
to be
control
fair.
satellites.
To be fair, I'm actually surprised that Pyre doesn't want to go up to space. Space would be one of the safest places for her, and if anything. Can't go
Yeah.
supernova if you're already in space. There ain't nothing to
She
burn.
can still die when she like most of the times.
I
time
thought
she should
Pyre
die.
was immortal.
Well,
Pyre, well, she'll die, but she'll just disappear in ashes and then just reappear someplace else.
but does she
So
know?
what's the problem?
Does she know what?
Does she know that she cannot die? Like, has it happened before?
You know, that is a good point. I'm gonna say no, she doesn't.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think.
Right?
I'm gonna say she hasn't died before.
She has gone like bird maybe or fire, but for her in her mind, we're probably like, well, I'll blow up the ship and then we'll die in the middle of
Yeah.
space.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be the worst case scenario. With the other one, if she blows up the facility underwater, it's underwater. It's just gonna cave in on her, and she won't hurt anyone.
Well, you will still like kill everyone that's living there.
Okay, then yeah, Italy is also out. The
Yeah,
forest will
honestly-
burn. The forest will burn down. The forest is out.
Jim, I was about to say,
Britain's out.
literally every single one of them is out for her. Just about. You realize, right?
Yeah, the only one that's like not out is what, Paris?
Well,
Why? There are going to be plenty of people near you in
you
Paris.
said Russia was out,
In
but
fact,
like,
there are going to be children there.
don't forget Russia. The space was not mandatory, so there's still like these big giant walls. It's the most fortified one. Is Russia?
All I'm saying,
Like,
Jim,
and I
is
say
if you
Vienna is not all forest. It's just more more open spaces, houses with gardens. It's a less big city.
Okay.
gardens burn pretty easily.
Yeah.
Kind of wish you hadn't made a character that just literally burns everything, Jim. Should have made it a little bit better, workable with the team.
Well,
That wouldn't have been as entertaining to roleplay as.
Yeah, but it would have been more entertaining to roleplay as a team.
like you said that Kenneth doesn't mind. How about his symbiote? Like, is he the one who's against cold?
That probably would actually be more correct, honestly. It's a possibility that the symbiote doesn't like the idea of too cold, simply because, in all generalness, his symbiote is essentially a liquid. What happens if he freezes?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% sure what would happen, honestly, myself. So, I don't know. Maybe there's a slight fear from the symbiote leaking into Kenneth's decision making. Anyway, yeah. So what is Pyre's vote then? So we can actually move this on. Hello.
To say,
There you
yeah.
go.
Underwater, if something bad were to happen, that would just drown everyone. Space, everyone would die in space. Cause a forest to burn down. So Britain is bad press enough already. So it's going to.
At least nobody would burn down, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Again, your character seems to be thinking of it like you seem to think of it only
In the worst possible. Yeah, she would probably be thinking in the worst possible case scenario.
So
Based
in that
on-
case, you would like, if that's her
Say
top
no
vote,
to everything.
It's probably Russia of Paris. Like I would say that you don't want England. They don't want more bad things to happen there. Russia is the
Yeah.
most fortified of all. Like the walls, the structures are already very against like fire, explosions. They built something that really like it's probably like most buildings will like survive a nuke. That's how it's built. It's like a very high grade material, which is kind of secretive there about. And same for W.I.P. W.I.P is not as that's a thing for W.I.P. He's not as much connected there. Like there's a lot of secret like because you're going through Wi-Fi and there's lots of hard wiring there. So there's lots of things like there's secret like databases, secret stuff there. I don't know if that's a plus for W.I.P that there's secrets he does not know or that's a negative. But yeah.
I'm gonna say Pyre would probably be most okay with Paris. That one would be she's okay with England and Russia.
Okay, so I will put down one vote for Paris. Oh, don't forget, you would also know. There's two others you guys know in Paris, which is of course the other PC that left, Dr. Nano, who's currently working for Midas, who also
Okay.
Midas is like the big hero in Paris. Really. He's the main protector. So yeah, one vote for Paris. Okay. I don't think like Jingles would care where you guys would go. Like I think Jingles would prefer going to Vienna, since it's more like fantasy, like for her background based, like most interesting. But she wouldn't like mind Russia, I think. In that case,
Yeah.
With already there being snow. I don't think she would like to be underwater as well, like with the snow powers and like then she would create a snow globe like underwater. Yeah, and there's not much for her in England, so because she can drive cars, but she can use technology, or it can use technology. So yes, is everyone okay with Paris? Someone will just
I mean, Hydra hasn't voted really that much. Hydra.
Oh, I have voted. Nessa is okay
With Paris?
with any that aren't underwater, which is still leaves 4 options. She's not really got any history with Paris or anywhere else, for example.
The only one against Paris, like a little bit, would be Miss Bouchard. Because she would go back living in her old family home. And for some reason she is a bit like, yeah, shouldn't we go somewhere else? It's not like she's like, no, we're not gonna go there. It's more like, yeah, like, she's like, well, the other one sounds great though.
I'm not even like fully sure what's going on in Paris anyway, so.
But
what
you
I
like, if
understood,
you guys
not
like,
much.
I'm guessing you guys will be like, oh yeah, let's do Paris. She's like, yeah, maybe it's the most of the she's like, it's maybe the most safest. I would agree. I don't really agree on you guys having normal jobs, but they would take up that's in their hands, luckily, and not in ours. So missions, that's for us. But if you guys screw up on jobs, that's on them.
Personally, Kenneth would have been against the vote of Paris, even if Paris was what was decided.
What about
Kenneth
hold
would
on.
be against it.
There's one other person that gets the vote.
Who?
Josh?
Entropy and Josh, I guess.
Entropy doesn't have a vote. He literally does not care.
Wait,
and
really?
would be happy
Doesn't
going
he
anywhere.
want to go to Underwater Disneyland?
Entropy thinks it would be fun no matter where he goes.
Entropy would be like, yeah, I'm gonna visit at Underwater Disneyland, but...
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely gonna go visit that place, even if we don't choose it. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't think everything would be fun. Do you know how much fun he imagines going to Vienna would be and seeing all these interesting creatures and whatnot and then freaking them the fuck out?
Yeah, but
That does sound fun.
why would Kenneth be against Paris, just so I'm aware?
Kenneth doesn't want a job. Kenneth has literally lived his entire life as a, as someone who's lived on the streets, as someone who's literally stolen and done, he's been literally part of a gang as what he did for his life. So him doing a normal 9-to-5 job kinda
It doesn't have to be like a
sounds
9
like
to
sucks.
5 job, right? Like that's something discussable, like what kind of job he would do and for how long, and
Yeah, I guess that's true. Still, though, he's not a big fan of the idea of having to work alongside doing his job, or doing this.
because there live like lots of artists there. If he wants to pick up an art, they would be defining as a job.
True enough. Either way, though, that's not saying that we're not going to Paris. It's just saying Kenneth isn't very happy with it right now.
No,
Maybe he might.
That's good to say, because that will fit in your character. Like if something screws up there, he would be the guy like, told you guys we should have gone somewhere else.
Told you guys we should have gone to the underworld or water world. Been so much better. But yeah, fair enough. So we're going to Paris, apparently.
And we're all like, yeah, going to Paris, and everybody jumps up and we freeze frame. Oh,
So Paris.
Don't forget, like Entropy also had a note saying go to Paris.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Actually, in that case, he would have voted for Paris.
Yeah.
And he would have made a excuse like he's always wanted to try escargot.
Did you figure out who the note was from?
No, I don't think I remember figuring it out.
Let me see if Entropy knows. Then let's look at your character sheet. What you can roll here.
One thing I will mention is, though, he probably would have mentioned it once he found out he had to get a job. Entropy's totally going to be a mime. There's no way he's not going to be a mime.
Like, I see Entropy, I see, like, switching every, 2 weeks.
Yeah, just switching jobs, but his favorite that he just keeps going back to is a mime.
Yeah, right. Great. Because, yeah, that's, like, a bit open, like, what your job you want to do, like, in discussion. Like, I can see, like, them, like, yeah, sure, you can sometimes be a mime. We'll get you. They'll probably give you, like, odds and ends, knowing that no boss will really want you for a long period of time.
Could see that.
Could you, for Entropy, roll insight to see if you know from who the note is?
Sure. Inside. Did it do good? I can't see.
You
It did not do good.
rolled a 4.
Wow. Good job. Apparently, Entropy.
You do not know who it's from, but you do know the person. Well, I would say it's not that hard. This is Entropy, right? Like a normal person would have gotten it with a 4, but you're just so unfocused.
Oh yeah, no, just like
Yeah, you're like
he can't connect.
there was
the
like a
fucking
drawing
dots.
of you guys in the restaurant in it, so the person can either draw or has like a picture to drawing app configuration, and they want you to go to Paris. Like you were in.
Yeah, my character just straight up is unable to like put the dots together. He's just like,
Did you share this information with anybody?
no, he would have literally just been like,
like they would have figured it out like in 5 seconds.
yeah, literally, he just sits there like, this is a puzzle. I must figure this out. I have no idea, but that's a great idea.
Also,
Let's
you
go to
didn't
Paris.
share it with Whip, just so I'm sure.
No, I did not share it with Whip. Whip most likely knows about it because he's a fucking weird person that looks over your fucking shoulder all the time.
You had your phone in the hand, so it's possible to know. Like, there are no cameras in your hotel rooms. It's not like, yeah, we're watching you while you're sleeping kind of situation. They're probably like in the hallways and outside of your windows. If you, well, that doesn't work for Entropy since you can teleport. But yeah, having a camera in the room would also not be that effective for most of you guys.
Anyway, but yeah, Entropy would have just like sort of just been like, this is a puzzle. I have to figure this out. I can't figure this out. Oh well, let's go to Paris.
So like at the end of the meeting, like Mr. Shaw goes like, well, Paris it is then. Back to my hometown. So everybody pack your stuff. We'll be leaving in the morning. If there's any help you need or any equipment, talk with Mr. Keegan. Okay. So yeah, you guys grab your stuff. For Whip, like most of his service will probably be like done for him, like packed. I think Entropy does most of the like extra stuff, like the crocodile. He probably will get most of that gear. You know, they get the dogs. Like the dogs will probably not be like in crates or something. They probably will have like their own like special bus they can sit in. They probably make Kenneth like, you know, like they're okay with Entropy taking the crocodile in his equipment, but for your bullet ends, they're like, you know, please be careful, put them in this special case.
Oh yeah, no, I'd like personally oversee making sure that like they weren't let loose or damaged in any way. Those bullet ends matter a lot to Kenneth. They are very important.
Somebody drops it, grass clacks on the floor, they all spill out like liquid. I'll shut up.
Let me see. Yeah, like I think for Nessa, she doesn't have like lots of stuff yet. You didn't have much time to like buy clothes, and well, you have some like of your all your medals, and some of your personal stuff has been like given back to you. By the way, did you contact your parents at some point, or did you just not think of to do that?
The limited amount of her personal effects is something she can carry with her without any issue. So. Yeah,
but okay. Did you contact your parents that you're like out of this jail at some point? Because I don't want to like go like, oh yeah, that you just show up.
Yeah, she would have had the ability, but they're back in Canada, so I mean, they're not. You're not going to Canada. She'd contact them, but it wouldn't necessarily be a big thing. Like it'd be nice that they would be thankful that she's out of prison in a sense and still doing okay for the most part, but like understanding that she's still kind of in the system, air quote, so she can't leave yet and go back home.
Yeah, it's more like, did you give them a call or try to send them a mail?
Yeah.
Or what have you done? Like, which one did you?
She would have given them a few calls.
Yeah, so you tried to call, and every time you basically got like an entry, like the machine, like we're currently. You probably know only their home phone number, like you don't remember the mobile phones out of your head, and your old phone is gone. And so you try the home phone, and it's like, yeah, we're currently on vacation in like the Poconos or something.
Home phone, work phone. Because at the work phone, you mean like parents probably have a coworker who probably know Nessa and hand off the cell phone number, I'd imagine.
Yeah, like, you know, they
I mean,
they're
that's,
probably like in some like resort that like cell phones are forbidden, maybe. Like, you know, silence, like
Alright.
silence retreat.
so bare form here. You don't want Nessa contacting your parents directly. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, it's more like, or else we have to play it out. Like, it's gonna. I just want to
It
make
would-
sure that there was a reason that you didn't, like, if you send in the mail, they wouldn't have read it yet, or, yeah. So basically, you tried to get in contact like a few times, but you were not able. Maybe you you probably got a hand of the butler if they're actually in a silent retreat, or one of the people who work for your family. Or, like,
Okay.
colleagues. You can contact them.
Again, bare form. She can't contact them directly. Moving on.
Yeah, well,
Like it's
interesting thing does happen. Like, everybody you call thought you were dead. So it's maybe like like they even think you were joking. Like, you know, Miss West. Like, after the news, like you were on the news when the Jingles thing happened. Like, Miss Wescott, like, people start believing, like, you're actually still alive. Is it actually you? Oh. Like, yeah, you get these weird conversations. Everybody, like, apparently it was clearly stated that you have died in the accident.
all right.
So that they're trying hard to, like, contact your parents currently, even though they're in, like, this super special silent retreat. Like, before we go out, like, no, that's no, never mind. Yeah. So yeah, you guys packed your stuff. It's not like a big travel from Berlin to Paris in this day and age, in the future. It's probably like, maybe there's like this bullet train, and you guys get your own, like, what's it called, carriage, like your own.
Carriage works, yeah.
Yeah, your own section.
What would it be called? I don't even know what it's called, yeah.
Yeah, train cart. I think train cart is just.
Train car works, yeah.
Yeah.
Carriage.
Carrot. Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, I think carriage is more for like the older ones. I don't know if like the new ones is still like a carriage.
It's still a carriage. If it's a passenger car, it's a carriage.
Okay, yeah, you'll have to like.
I don't know much about trains, so.
I know much in my own language. I know it's like a train car, but yeah. So yeah, you get like one for you guys, one for your baggage. Oh man, even with the bullet train, like I think it will be like 1.5 hour, like in this day and age. It's maybe like already like a hyperloop system, so it would be like really fast. But it's like getting your equipment on, like that would take time. It's probably like even like a personal like bullet train hyperloop just for you guys, and even a carriage. Yeah, so you guys get on. Like, when outside, like, you guys currently, you're quite a big group together. Also, like, very, like, noticeable, you know. It's seeing not only, like, Jingles, like, walking around this spider creature, but also, like, even, like, having, like, 7 giant dogs with you guys.
Entropy dressed in, like, very much, like, Hawaiian clothes and like tropical clothes, as if he's going on vacation. Possibly even carrying a small umbrella, as if to like, so he could go sunbathing or something.
No, but it's like cartoonishly small.
Yeah.
It's like for a shotgun, a shot
I
glass.
don't like Whip. We probably won't see Whip. I don't think Whip will project himself everywhere. But like, even like you like, some of you guys like are famous. Like Entropy at this point is like very known and a bit famous. Same for Kenneth and Pyre, knowing that they were in the tournament. Josh, being like this known millionaire. Some people are, like, also recognize him from stuff like that. Miss Bishop, she travels apart. She's not going with you guys. Like, she doesn't want to be stuck with you guys for an hour in this small space.
She's done with our shit already. Damn.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, she had to go for her own to her own house. Oh yeah, that was another thing with Paris, is like living quarters. You guys live more separate. We'll discuss like how that looks, but
Hiccup.
so yeah, you guys travel like nothing really. I'm thinking because Nessa has been stuck for like this kind of travel. Like if it was a comic or a show, we would actually see like rushing, like watching outside, seeing all these big buildings, still hearing the cars, like all the busyness, and like in a moment's notice, it's just like very quiet in nature around you guys. And then we would actually see like how much like towns and cities have been gone around Berlin and actually moved to the city. So there's like more grass in this shots than there actually is in the real world. So sometimes you would see a farm normally. Here you would see that more less and less. Like it's more nature, forest, grass. You would see some like animals maybe. The animals here they have been like chipped and they're drones keeping control of them. So they even would have like very rare animals, so maybe some even like animals that were extinct, not like dinos, like extinct in the last like 60 years. They would have running around and like with chips and with like drones, they would track that the population is under control and they don't go in certain areas. Like when you hit France, you see more of a small farms, little villages. Let me see, from Berlin to France. No, you wouldn't. Like like on the train, there you guys have like TV screens and there's like lots of electronical entertainment. But there would be like, because I'm just going with it because it would exist. Like there would be commercials for Disneyland, because you know Disneyland Paris exists. Like there would be lots of commercials like, you're heading to Paris, why don't you visit Disneyland? And like other things like Arc de Triomphe, like all the things that are in Paris which still like exists. So yeah, you have the Arc de Triomphe, you have the Eiffel Tower. You would have like, there are like even dungeons underneath Paris. Like all of these monuments still exist. Oh my god, Entropy is so gonna do like a Notre Dame joke somewhere, like the Hunchback or something. I'm guessing.
Hunchback of Notre Dame. Yeah. Maybe not just yet. He's gonna save it for a rainy day.
Yeah, like save down.
He doesn't like to play all his best jokes immediately. He likes to save them up, wait for a good time to use them.
Yeah.
So yeah, and like the Louvre would have been like much bigger. This being the city being more focused on like arts in the times currently. Like all artists like try to come to Paris at least like for a few years of their life. I'm thinking what else is like that's most like for Paris, like. And when you like enter like the station for Paris, you would have gone through the city. You would see smaller. It's still like a big city, but it's not like they put skyscrapers here. And the city would have probably more grown bigger to the sides and maybe a bit underground. Maybe like a few floors, but like no like real big buildings in that sort of space. To keep like the sky. The view of the city very beautiful looking. Much of the buildings they have been painted or have some form of art in there, and it doesn't really always match together. Like sometimes, like there's so much artists here that will like, oh, you would have this whole street. Like no, you can do these two houses, and then another guy would have done these two houses and that. So yeah, sometimes it doesn't really match. Lots of flowers you would also notice. Yeah, so for you guys get there, and we'll go to your living quarters. I would say you still live like in a similar building, but you guys would have basically you would have like a small house for yourself, but you have like you're basically in a square, and there's like this small like this open area in the middle. I'm trying to remember what's that called. Like so small square in the middle. It just doesn't get in my head. Like it's very. I think Italians use that a lot, like the open space in the middle. So you would have houses next to each other. Basically, in this block would be like probably like 12 like small houses. Basically, there are apartment buildings, but you would have like both floors with their houses like built next to each other, similar looking. You can the roofs they're flat. So basically, you have a first floor, a second floor maybe with a balcony, and then you have the roof flat. You can sit on the roof as well. Maybe I will draw this like in the future how it a little bit looks, so you can actually see. Well, I will have this house and I'll live next to this person. I would think like W.I.P and Entropy would probably share a house. I'm guessing since you're both of you don't fill up your rooms that much.
Whip's getting his own room. Wow, that's an upgrade.
If you want, no, you had your own room before. It was like you didn't.
Let's be fair here. That was a storage compartment.
No, they actually gave you a room, like, because basically you order so much random shit. Like it was a normal room, but after a while it would have become a storage compartment.
Storage compartment 2.0.
So yeah, if you want, you can...
However, I have to make it a suitable habitat for life now, since it contains a god entity within it.
Yeah, so like on the inside, it's mostly stone, and the open area, maybe the fountain. There are some flowers there, but it's not like on the ground. They're in like this square pots. There is some grass around, like a small garden for you guys, and then you would have other similar looking buildings, like a bit different. And you're not like in the center of Paris. You're probably like you probably have to take a car or a metro or some kind of transportation to actually get to like the middle, the center.
Yeah.
So for you guys, just to remember noticeable characters that currently live in Paris, especially for Hydro, and I will type this out probably for next week because you chose this area. You guys have, first of all, the main hero from France is what's his name? Midas Countdown. I'll put it in.
Oh God, him. He
really wanted to win the tournament, and he's actually a very good hero. Basically, he has the power to whatever he touches will explode. But they gave him some equipment that they will actually. There's some like small nanobots that will actually count down before it explodes. So if he touches a chair, the chair will like count down real hard before it explodes. And he has more. So basically, whatever he wants to touch, he can blow up. Currently working for Midas is Dr. Nano. Dr. Nano, former PC, now NPC.
Of course, he's working for Midas.
Midas, the real guy who's probably going to end up killing us.
Let's be fair here. We all know Midas is a bad guy.
Well, he's not a bad guy. He just doesn't like certain members of our group.
So that Hydro knows who Dr. Nano is. Dr. Nano, former villain, basically expert in nanotechnology, was also in the London jail, but he went to a therapist who hypnotized him. And basically, he couldn't do any evil. There were some actual rules where it counts as evil stuff, but he couldn't do evil stuff anymore. And that like very good hypnotism. So he wanted to use he wants to use his power still and technology, but he can't do evil things. Like then I better use it for good. Then I at least can be like famous and do stuff with what things I can. Like he was very just changing sides. Since he can't do this side, he will do the other side. Then there's the Academy. You guys would know Miss Bichon's sister. Let me check her name. Her superhero name is Mangamania.
Yep.
She did had a normal name. Trying to get it in my notes here somewhere. What was she called? Oh, Dixie. Yeah, so Dixie Beauchamp. Write it down for me. So she would be there. Slime, not Slime Soldier, but Slime, also former PC, which was the same player who played Dr. Nano. Basically, it's a slime with who can talk, but is as smart as a dog, as a small child. So that's
I'm
why.
about to say he's a little smarter than a dog, maybe a child, but
Yeah, but since a dog is his, like your dog, he still thinks the dog still thinks it's his pet. So he would be there, and Card Soldier. I think his name was. He actually also got a real name at some point. David, yeah, David Card. So for Hydro, the guys had an arc, which was basically a book that was unleashed on this small village, and basically placed them in like a parody version of Alice in Wonderland. And Entropy, like they had like the persons themselves had to like be actors, and they were stuck in this book. So they were able to convince some of them to actually help them with David.
oh yeah,
That was fun.
And basically, he got freed by you guys for helping the diplomats in the arc later. He was actually the one helping you get release David. And he's working on getting others out. He got the mother and the child out that were in there, the mother and the baby, but he's still working on getting others out of that book. So that's basically the characters you guys know there, and for Hydro, but of course for you guys, I will type this out. It's like, you know, where these pieces are from, what do you guys know of these characters?
mm-hmm.
So yeah, you guys like get settled into your houses, like unboxing. Hydro, at your door, your doorbell rings. Even if you just got there, your doorbell is already ringing.
All right. Well, she answers the door then.
Yeah, you open the door. You see a person you know. His name is what should I name this guy? Buford. He works for your family. He's basically he's a bit more than a butler. He's like butler / bodyguard / driver. And he goes like, Miss Wescott? Is it really you?
I'd like to think it is, but my appearance probably doesn't lend credibility to that.
Yeah, like his eyes were probably like focused, like when you open like on your original height, and he had to like look up. Because you did like transform a bit, if I remember correctly. You became like a bit bigger.
Yes.
Let me write down his name so I don't forget. He's like, it's a miracle. They told us you died in an accident. Like, well, you're like something happened. Of course, but maybe I'm speaking out of tone. Would you please come with me? We'll go back to your parents' house. We have a plane ready at the airport. If you follow me to the limo, we'll get you out of here.
Well, it's a very tempting offer. Was she given? Sorry, question. That out of character right now.
Yeah.
Was she given a document of some sort that was detailing the rules of her parole?
Yeah, they would have given you some of the rules. Basically,
okay.
You're allowed to leave temporarily for like a week if you just like if you're on Earth. I'm saying this for Entropy. Please just let them know where you are or where you're going. Like, and then you could go for a week. Like, you shouldn't do like every week I'm going some. Like, you have to do some work, but basically you have like 40 days of vacation. You're allowed to take up. If there was a long mission, you're especially free for some time if you want. like you just got here. Like leaving now would be bad looking. That will probably be like trouble. Like you have to earn your days off. Especially since you're just getting used to your powers, they probably won't like, yeah, you should go to your parents. And then they will be like, maybe you should stay with us for now. And that's something you would know. Like, you know, they would have explained to you, like, you know, yeah, you can see your parents probably like in 1.5 months. You can.
I was just wondering if she had a list of the rules.
Yeah. There's no like strict rules list.
Yeah.
If you're asking for that, but yeah, they would have given you some like instructions, and if there are questions, you could ask them.
All right. So back to the task at hand, as it were. I would like to go back to my parents. However, it would probably not behoove me to do so, considering I just got here, and I'm pretty sure they want me to stay around here for a little while before I can actually go and potentially take use of my leave time that I have. That and my parents, last I called, weren't actually at home.
Yes, they were at the silent retreat. They have been. But after that, they had to go back to work. You know, they're very busy. They told me they will try to call you between work. Haven't they called you yet?
I'm gonna go with a no.
And he grabs like a small smartphone. He's checking their schedule. I don't see it in the schedule. Normally they schedule in phone calls. No, I'm gonna send them a reminder that they should call you. But is there no way we can get you go back home? It's been so long. They've been lying to us. Why should we trust these people?
Because if I leave too early and I leave too abruptly, then I can be put right back in jail. I'd rather avoid that, if possible. Well, I understand my parents probably want to see me again. I also don't want to go and sit in jail for, I don't know, however long they decide I need to sit in jail for causing a slight disturbance a little while ago. People.
She's like, of course. He's like, of course I understand, but you know, your parents, they would, I don't know if they would understand. You know, I have a job
considering, I think they would understand, considering I'm fairly certain I know my own parents. And if they're having an issue with this, or you say they're having an issue with this, I don't think you're actually working for them at all. So the answer is no.
He's like, Miss Wescott, I work for your parents as well as for you. So if you tell me no, I will tell them. They will not be happy, and I don't know. They will not be happy with me. You know, the don't kill the messenger doesn't really work for your parents. Maybe you should please try.
That doesn't necessarily sound like them either.
Sorry?
That doesn't sound like them either, though. She's looking really skeptical at this guy in front of her house right now. Really skeptical.
But you know him. You know him. You know him. Like, did you have like a back thing for your parents? I thought I didn't saw much of your parents, so I was just filling in the blanks there.
I was about to say that this might just be actually a Hydra that Sven doesn't know how your parents act because you never told him.
Yeah, like it was me like filling in the blanks because I thought you wanted me to fill in the blanks there.
My apologies. I was thinking more filling in the blanks when it came to like a group that could be against her.
Okay, no, sure. So let's discuss how do you like. We can maybe change a bit what's happening here. How do you think your parents like are? In that case, like, you know, work stuff, family, how close you guys are.
Supportive, not super close, but you know, there's still some familial love there. Like basically what I've said so far about them, where they wouldn't be aggressive people, they wouldn't be angry people, they would be fairly calm and relaxed people.
So they're more of like letting you loose and do your thing.
Well,
Still being
that's
interested in like what you're doing and being supported, but still like, you know, if you were like, I want to sell hot dogs, they will like support that, like, yeah, you go, girl, like you go what you
Yeah,
want to do. Yeah,
because they supported her randomly going out into the world as a young adult and exploring on her own. They supported that. That's not the kind, like, you don't have someone who's like, oh my god, we have to have our daughter home,
I was
and
more
still support
okay.
that
No,
notion.
how I was going currently was more like they're so busy. Like we'll change this because
Yeah.
that's how you want to do it, and then that's fine. I was like I was not saying like, oh, they're like very aggressive. They were like, no, we don't have time, so we want you to come to us because that spares us time, like meeting up. I was thinking more like the rich parents who, you know, the help takes care of.
Okay.
But yeah, then it will go a bit different. Like after he opened the door, he would come in, and he would basically have this message from your parents, which is like, you know, you put it down, and you know there's this. I just gotta get on the word here. There's this image of them shown like floating above the message. It's like, dear Nessa, I like you see your mother like crying, being like, you know, we sorry that we didn't try to. We're sorry that we weren't able to, that you're able to contact us. They told us you were like you've probably been gone for a year and maybe a few months. Like they told us that you died. So they tell you that there was a bear. Like they even had like a ceremony for like man, some words here. They had a funeral for you, and they're so happy that you're still alive, and they want to see you soon. But they try to get you to come to their home, so they contacted the Super Parole guys, guardians, everyone to see if that's possible. They're still trying to figure out how they even like who lied to them. Like they're very upset about that, but they really want to see you, so they'll know that you currently can't come to them, so they will soon join you. Basically. They hope that you're doing fine, and that they will try everything. Like they basically mentioned that they will try to find a cure for you, knowing that you have been like a bit mutated. And they yeah, like I said, they will be here soon. Like in a couple of days, they will visit you. Does that sound more like your parents? Like currently they're just not able to call, but that's why they send like this.
That's
text message.
a lot more in line with what I was thinking. Yeah.
No, that's fine. Sure. Yeah. So, the butler he helps you unpack. Like your parents sent some boxes knowing you were moving, so they sent some of your like your own stuff. You had it home from your room, and maybe some other things you would like. So your house would be like a bit more luxurious.
There's still one thing that's nagging her though,
And it is.
and that is how they found out so rapidly and already had stuff shipped across the Atlantic so rapidly.
I smell conspiracy.
So yeah, how that works? They seen you in the news 2 days ago. You've been calling, so basically, like they have like friends in high places, and not knowing that like rapid things would have happened. They would have contacted this group, and they would have said, she's alright. She currently can't come visit because she's in this program. She currently has powers. We need to keep you in control. That's why she can't come to you currently. The base, the Super Parole used to be in Berlin, but it's currently like after the meeting they would have shared it. That is probably like a day ago. They would have said, you know, oh yeah, she's moving to Paris, the base, so that's where they're going in tomorrow. And basically they would have started like, okay, get stuff packed and fly it here. And I would say you can do that in like 24 hours. Like even from if you have the right persons, you have your own plane. Like especially in the future, like with better, flights and stuff. Yeah, they could easily get that like in 24 hours. They probably even like put like a hyperloop system like for the packages between America and like Europe, and same for America and China. Like, so yeah, it goes very fast. And there's like superheroes and magic. So yeah.
I mean,
Sure
yeah,
enough, to be fair.
Fair.
I still smell a conspiracy.
Oh, so
No,
does she. She's still questioning things.
I smell waffles, so I mean, hey.
Yeah, I understand that she might be questioning, but you do get. Oh, if you find it questioning, we can do a roll for it, right?
Turns out Russia wasn't happy with us moving with Paris.
yeah. Roll insight.
No, even better. Venice was upset that we didn't go with them.
Turns out your butler is actually a centaur, half werewolf, half vampire, half goblin.
My God.
Would it then still be a centaur, since a centaur is half human, half horse?
Well, they're also half human, half horse, half werewolf, half vampire, half unicorn, half angel, half demon, half undead, half living,
Look,
half...
you gotta imagine this would happen eventually once you put all those different races together.
Yeah. Can Nessa roll insights, just so it's for her being like, So yeah, so for the recording, you rolled a 4 and you have a +2, so you have a 6.
Low.
So yeah, you've known this guy for a very long time, but it's been a while since you seen him, because even you were probably traveling for maybe weeks, months before the accident. You maybe won't expect him to be here, even though your parents are not here. Like, you're questioning, like, would they have sent them? Would they have sent them? Like, why him? So there's that. And there's the thing, like, there's magic, there's clones, there's superpowers. Currently, you can't be really sure who's actually who. Seeing Entropy probably change forms at some point. And that kind of stuff.
She's still skeptical, but she's not sure she should be skeptical. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he helps you unpack. He really goes into his butler role, like makes you drinks. Like, is there anything else I can help you in? Like, and he would go like sincere at some point. Like, it's so good to see you again, Miss Wescott. Would you tell your persons to call you Nessa at some point? Because he worked for you for so long. Well, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And he was. It's good to see you again, Nessa. It was heartbreaking for everyone at home to hear the bad news that you presumably died.
Clearly not dead, right?
Clearly not dead. I mean, the last I checked, then I still got something resembling a pulse, and
yeah, like
I'm still walking around and talking.
They're just happy she's not like alive with black sludge around her. And they go on. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I see the differences between you. They told me about some mutation, and that you have to be in this program. I must say there have been lots of changes at home since your presumed death. Some people took it okay. I'm not feeling any freedoms on you. Do you have any brothers or sisters, or are you okay with having any brothers or sisters, or were you like, oh no, I was an only child?
I'd say like a brother and sister, probably younger.
Yeah, like your siblings didn't take it very well as your parents, and it's not for me to tell what happened. I hope your parents will come and share some information, but like I thought, things changed. It wasn't easy losing you. It's good to have you back in some way. Like, how was it for you? And he pours some like tea. like the way you want it?
I mean, it's about what it is. I'm still going to be in the system for probably a little while longer. I can't imagine too much longer, but a little longer nonetheless. Yeah. As for, you know, the whole being in jail thing, it was a year of reading basically the library in the jail.
It's like you always loved reading. Did they had anything good?
Oh, I read through most of the library, I'd imagine. So, some good, some bad, some in between.
Like while unpacking, is there anything special that stands out? Like something from your childhood, or something like, you know, from like something from past that like means like a lot to you, that they would have like sent you? If you want, you can take a moment to think about it while we go through
Her portable computer and her backup camera, assuming that the jail didn't give her back her original camera. That's, yeah.
No, your original camera probably went broken during the accident. I'm assuming. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. Like you saw like the image, the video like that was on the internet. That wasn't your camera, right? They reported it from above the ship. So they have not released videos from your camera as far as you know, but as far as you know, that video has been like demolished, broken.
Okay, so yeah, basically those two objects and some clothing.
Yeah, well,
would be what she was hoping would be there.
Like on your computer, they actually like they did, the butler ensures you that they didn't like crack the code to get stuff off that. They respected your privacy, in that even after you died, they never tried to, you know, like, oh, maybe there's some files we really want. For some reason, they know how special your PC was for you, and they kept it like, you know, for you. And that's also a thing that's maybe you didn't think of before, but they have all this stuff from you, even though you have been dead for like a year or more. For their
Yeah, we
minds.
put that coffin in that underwater amusement park because he loved the sea so much.
Jeez.
But yeah, they still have all your equipment. Let's go to some of the other guys before we
Okay.
all our time today for Nessa.
Oh yeah, I wasn't
No, you're
expecting it to
fine.
go so far.
No,
Yeah.
you're fine.
No,
It's all good.
that's fine. Yeah, I would say like also for Pyre, like at some point during like Pyre would even probably have less stuff than Nessa. She maybe, because she's not that much like she was 2 days in the Super Parole before Nessa joined, so you ordered maybe some stuff, but I think you started with like less
Listen.
than Nessa.
Listen, I can tell you immediately what she's carrying on her.
Tell me.
Her clothing,
Yeah.
cigarettes,
Yeah, right.
sad cigars. That's it.
Yeah, so they probably would have known in advance that she doesn't have. So there's probably like some stuff like, you know, pre-furnished for some of you guys not having that much furniture. Like Entropy would probably have been no, I'm good.
Yeah. Entropy definitely would have just been like, yeah, I got it. I'll do it. No worries. By the time he bloody opens the door, like it's already completely decked out with like early 90s furniture, say.
Yeah.
Like, you know, early 90s style furniture right now. And then
And
later on,
crocodile.
yeah, and just a crocodile hanging out in one of the chairs reading the newspaper. And if like later on they like someone peeks in whenever I open a door, it's just gonna be randomly like just a random assortment of different styles and eras. Just every time I open the door, it's a different style and era.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe different, like for example, something like at one point or another they look in and it looks like a fucking like Indian hut for some reason. Just like, really?
No, they open the door. It leads to a revolving door.
That would be a Native American, by the way, Sen.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
Yeah, I got you. So yeah, between your guys' houses, there would be locked doors to the house next to you guys, so that if you want to join. So the house next to you, you know that's empty. There's a knock on that door for Pyre.
There wouldn't be anything in here, so I mean, she'd probably just be bored watching the window outside, and then she would go to answer the door.
Yeah, so this is like this inside door, so it's not like you can't like peek through it. There's no real, it's just locked, and you're able to like basically there are two doors like on one side, so either can lock one, so you open the locks. You see a young boy, probably like 1 or 2 years younger than you. And he's like the sun just started to go down, so it's getting a bit dark, and he's like, is the sun down? Again, you wouldn't know it's just mean down.
Is this kid asking me, is the sun down?
Yeah.
Calm down, dude. Don't even know what the hell you're
What?
freaking out about.
What? Just, I mean, some little kid just walks up to your door, knocks, and just goes, "Is the sun down?"
Well,
like with this deadpan stare.
He's not like at your front door. He's like in the house next to you, which you thought was empty. Like there's a door between for the house.
There's a door connecting your
Yeah.
room to his room.
Okay. The sun is going down, right?
Yeah, it's just like it probably just went down. Like
I'm just saying. I mean, you could just look outside, but yeah, it's going down. Why?
it's like, well, or else I couldn't. Sorry, I couldn't come in because for me I'm sorry, for Nino, and I will put his name in chat here. He's like an 11-year-old boy. He's like, I live next. I've been living here, but I thought I was the only one. Like apparently other people moved in, like next to me.
Yeah, we all just moved in here. Yeah. Hi.
Wait, there are others. I just felt one person going. I actually shouldn't talk to you. I'm so sorry if you don't.
No, you're fine. Are you okay?
Yeah, well, I'm fine, I guess. Like my house is nice, and I can sometimes come out. It's just, you know, my powers, they're very dangerous, so they like to keep me inside. And basically, the sun, just makes my powers more unstable.
What do you do?
He's like, well, I live here. I play video games.
No. I mean, like, what do you do that's so dangerous?
He would be like, well, I make things turn to ash.
Damn it. I was gonna be like, in before it's literally like the same as Pyre, but the opposite. So instead it's like ice instead of fire.
Here's the problem, we already got that, and it's a spider.
True. Anyway,
You
sorry.
had an ice
Didn't
guy
mean to
before.
interrupt.
That was Kenneth trainer.
Oh yeah, true enough. Ice cube.
Yep.
Somebody's been playing it, Infamous. Anyway.
Wait, who's been playing Infamous? Me?
You. There's a character whose entire power list
yeah.
is based off of Ash.
Jib, you do realize people can have ideas that are similar to a game.
I know, I'm
and
poking
not
fun.
have ever
Yeah,
even
I
seen
didn't
said game.
I know. I'm just poking fun. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
You know what fun I'm poking? That you seem to think ideas need to be based on something
Well, you
else.
could ask. Like, don't presume. You could ask.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Uh,
So he's like, oh, yeah. So wait, do you have powers?
Snap of the fingers. There's a little flame in my on my index finger.
He's like, whew. Like he's like completely like looking and staring at it. And he's like, it's so beautiful.
Thanks.
I didn't get your name. Sorry. What's your name?
My name is Pyre,
Nice to meet you, Pyre.
and what is yours?
I just told you. I'm Fernino.
Bless you. But what is your name?
He's like, ha!
Oh.
I just told you. It's actually Fernino. I'm sorry. It's not like I'm sneezing.
That's Fernino.
Yes.
Of all the people that I've met with that are giving themselves self-proclaimed titles, Fernito is the weirdest.
Well, it's not like a superhero. That's my actual name.
Why is Fernino your name?
Because that's the name he was born with, Jib. Jesus.
I
He
know.
would say that, like-
she's asking that. She's
That
asking
would be
that.
is like that's
She-
the name I was born with.
I'm so sorry. Your parents named you after a sneeze.
He would like no. My parents didn't name. I don't think.
Is Pyre just naturally a dick, or are you making him a dick, Jib?
No, she doesn't understand the name.
It's a person's name. You don't have to understand people's names.
Says the
She
girl
would at
named
least
Pyre.
understand that.
She named herself Pyre. It rhymes with fire because it sounds like it.
He would be like,
Wow. 10 out of 10 naming conventions.
Exactly, because she's a kid. She doesn't know better.
he would
So
like,
she's now going to mock this child's name?
She's not.
he would be
she
like,
doesn't
I don't
understand
have,
it.
I don't remember my parents. It's just the name I somehow like remember. Just it feels as a fit. So he actually like now enters your room because he was still standing in front of the door,
Yeah, that, which is, awkward, but go on.
and he goes like, "Wow, your window's open and you can look outside."
Can't you?
Well, the sun, like I could look outside like at the evenings, like a bit, and I sometimes go outside. The heat makes my powers go off, like this strange, Are you like trapped as well?
No, not really. Just kind of choose to be here because I guess, yeah, I guess I'm just afraid.
Afraid of what?
Of being friends with people. That's why I made fun of your name.
No, she.
Nino.
I guess just.
You can give him a nickname. You can call him Fern or Nino if you prefer. Like
Yeah.
Raymond.
All right. Well, she's gonna light little finger tips on fire and wave that around, and then they disappear after a second. I'm afraid I'm gonna hurt people with that, or God knows what else.
Yeah. Did you ever hurt people?
Yes.
He's like, me too. Lots of people. It's a strange feeling.
I try not to think about it.
Oh, he's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, moving away from all of that.
He's like, I'm not bothering, am I?
I look at my currently empty house.
Yeah, you would have
I mean,
some,
I have
they would
nothing
provide
else
some
going
food.
on.
We'd have provided some food. We've already been there, right? And it's like very simple. He's like, oh, okay, sorry.
No, she's gonna say, well, I have nothing else going on.
Okay. What do you do for fun? I ask, and he's like, puts a cigarette in her mouth.
That's exactly what she's going to do. And light it.
You're such a terrible person. You're such a bad influence.
Yes.
He would look at the cigarette, like, again, like, he would focus on it, and he's like, wow, does that entertain? Does it make you... he would be like, how would I state this? Like, does that give you a good feeling? Putting that flame in your mouth?
She gives a nod, taking it out. Yeah, just enjoy the feeling of it.
Would you like smoke? Like, he's like standing in front of you. Would you like?
I would take a step back.
Okay, you're not doing the smoke in his face, right?
No. She's gonna offer him one.
He's like, no, I'm good. Just watching you do that just makes me feel better. It's very confusing. I don't think I need it myself. I just don't want to activate my powers and actually. He looks around, destroys something here, like looking like, okay, there's nothing much of worth except for you.
I'm sure I'll be fine.
Yes.
So, are you just gonna keep staring at me awkwardly, or?
He's like, oh, sorry, I was, like, I haven't talked with a person. Well, I do talk to someone, but yeah, I haven't talked to like a real actual person in a long time.
Okay.
Oh no. It's there's something built in my room. The person who talks to me. I don't know if he listens. It's just some. It's basically like a radio. I just hear. They have some equipment there, I think. They probably would have checked me out if there was something wrong. I tried to tell them that there's voice, and they didn't react to anything. So he's like,
do they speak to you often?
not really. Sometimes. And he goes to sit down in his like very comfy chair, like sit up, like he's a small boy, so like his feet doesn't like hit the ground anymore. Sorry, did you ask something when he was going to sit down? Because I thought you wanted to.
What do they tell you?
I think I'm picking up like phone signals. Like sometimes I hear different voices. Often the same voice. They don't actually talk to me. It's more, they he thinks, he's like, it's been growing lately. Like the one person talks more. What they talk about, he thinks it's not like they talk similar. He's like, I think the news, because they talk about other people with powers, and there was something about black sludge, like an attack on some tournaments. Apparently there was this hero tournament. It was very popular, and like I heard some of like the names of people. Like there was like lots of things on this tournament, and then the attack after. Before that, it was much smaller, just small conversations between people. Sometimes animal, like mouse sounds or a dog barking. It's been more interesting lately, like listening to a radio.
walk over to his room. Is there a radio?
So you enter his room.
Take a step in.
Yeah, so I feel like make a perception roll for me, like, because it's very dark in there. Are you still smoking, by the way? Like, it's
Yes.
yeah, right.
You smell a gas stick. Damn it.
So yeah, you roll a 12. I see you have a -1 somewhere and a +9, so you total of 20. What you look into his room, it's a very comfortable room. Like he has like also like a couch, like in an L shape. The lights, they're very dim currently. They give this beautiful, like, it does give light on the room. Good enough on the light, like small. It's like very warm feeling light. There are some paintings. This painting shows like one painting is like of a forest. The other is with more of like the stars, like the universe, like planets. He does have like this. He does have like this old like not an old radio, but not like the most new radio. There would be like the TV. It like hangs up like in the corner, like a hospital television. Yeah, they're like this is like your living rooms are probably like on the ground floor, so there's a stair going up. Like you're sleeping in a bathroom, we're probably like on the second floor, so you're looking at his first floor. So it's a very simple, similar looking room to yours, but the furniture, like even the furniture, it looks comfortable, but it's very like white. But in this light, it gets like more yellowish. And even the walls, they're like very white walls. The floor is tiled. So he is very much white colors, and that kind of stuff. And like the windows, they have been barred like very big up, like electrical something, and it's currently not open.
Mm. So you said that there was a radio, but what was it like, or is it like this?
Yeah, similar to the TV. It's not a big radio. Um, yeah, it will be like a portable radio, like a small one. It's standing next to some pictures.
She's gonna toy with the radio.
You're gonna look at the radio.
Just toy with it. Push the buttons,
so you actually
spin the dials.
You actually walk into the room. So yeah, he will stand up and follow you. So yeah, you walk past his pictures. You see some persons on the pictures. And yeah, you took a look at the radio. The radio, it looks very normal looking. Only it doesn't have any like the numbers on it for like. It's not like super electrical. It's like very like old, so you have to turn to find a frequency. But you do get like a signal. Like sometimes you hear music, and you don't see the numbers, so you don't know like which frequency you're currently getting in. If you scroll a little bit further, you would get like some talking. It's a bit muffled. So the voices have been a little bit modified for the feeling. What you would hear. Let me think here. What you would hear on the radio. Yeah, you hear like a cheering crowd. And like. You basically hear the news report, but it's a bit muffled and changed, and it's a similar as what you hear like on the radio, like maybe like yesterday on the news. So even though their voices are muffled, it doesn't like exactly sound like the radio, like the news. It more sounds like a recording of a recording of a recording of the news.
Oh,
You know?
jeez.
Yeah. So that's why it sounds very like weird and disturbed a bit, but it would like sounds very very similar to what like you've seen on the news.
All right, leaving it on that channel, she's gonna go over and turn on the TV.
Okay, yeah. So you put on the TV. Yeah, roll for me. Let me see here for your character Pyre. Where is your? I'm looking for your sheet. Pyre. I'm looking over it for some reason. Oh, there she is. I got your sheet. Because I know some people, if you guys have pop culture, you don't really have like pop culture in this game. Well, it would be some movie you have seen, like a very familiar movie you have seen before on the TV. When you change the channel, you get like the news you saw that was on the radio, like starting from the beginning. But again, this is actually like most of the things he gets or like a copy of a like recording of a recording of a recording. So like it's not like very sharp image, in that kind of way. Like maybe the TV is a bit bad, or like it could be the TV of the radio itself. It doesn't have to be the broadcast. But it's not great equipment. You get bad sound, you get bad image, but you recognize which movie this is. I don't know which movie your character has seen, but yeah.
None.
You wouldn't have watched any movies.
Unless she watched a movie during her time in the parole or in the hotel. No.
Oh, you would have probably watched like one in the hotel, maybe, or.
Okay, maybe.
Let me see. Yeah. So one channel, like you go very fast, and you see the news that like you probably seen the news because they kind of make you watch it sometimes in the Super Parole. You would see that. If you switch to another channel, it's something you don't actually recognize. Like it could be like a TV series, but you know it's so hard to make out what's actually being said and shown. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to open his front door.
Yeah. Okay. So you go down. Well, you're in the room where his front door is. So you try to open his front door and it's locked.
Is there a way to unlock it?
Well, he will fall in. He's like, yeah, currently they're keeping me in. It's not a good time for me to go out. The moon's very bright. I think it's almost full moon. So maybe I can go out in like a week or maybe a bit longer. He's like, I tried to go out. It doesn't work. Believe me.
I'm gonna go through my door, go to my room, and then go through my front door, and then just show him like, ta-ta.
Well, he would follow you, and you open the door. It's like, I can't go. I might hurt people. It always happens.
All right.
Always look out. I hurt people.
All right. How about this then? You stay here. I'll be back.
There's not really a way I can go. So what you gonna do?
Miss Bashan has arrived some here with us, right? At
No,
some point in time, or is she late?
She's in her own family house, so that's not. It's near-ish, but she's not in the same complex.
All right, then she's gonna go get someone who could get in contact with Miss Bashan, which is probably John or Josh.
Yeah. Okay.
So she's going to go get Josh.
So yeah, let's over to let's go to Kenneth. for short balls, and that's Reggie also. So for Kenneth, yeah. So also unpacking his stuff. You probably currently have your bigger ant farm. Like I think you ordered like a bigger glass thing for them to live in. Like how big did you? Are you here, Richie?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Do I remind it? Is it correct that did you order like a bigger living space for them?
What?
I think like 2 sessions ago you ordered like bigger living space for your ants.
Yeah, a while back, yeah.
So yeah, I think you put that in.
Yeah. But basically, how I've been thinking of that, basically describe my room would be a like very minimalist sort of furniture, maybe like a chair, a TV, a bed. You know, simple things, not very much at all.
Would it be
You know,
new or like secondhand? Even though they could get this stuff for you, would you even buy?
he would have probably just gotten second. And honestly, he doesn't really care if they give him new stuff.
Yeah.
He probably again have a majority of his room would probably at this point be taken up by said tank of his for the the bullet ants. He'd also probably have a large amount of like a good decent number of equipment, especially made for him to be able to like care for them, and take them out of the case if they need be, and like temporarily store them, just so he can clean it and then put them back in, things like that.
Would you have ordered like extra ants?
He's been keeping probably a very like large colony like of his own, yeah. So like if he needs to restock, he might. But he's just keeping a large colony.
How big
is
your ant farm? Just is it like wall sized or like what?
I'd say it's not quite wall sized, but very like again, it takes up basically an entire wall. I'd say, yeah.
Yeah. It's big, but that's like doable, right? That's very doable.
Mm-hmm. And I'm keeping a very large one, so it's actually got probably around, possibly even a few thousand if it's that large. I don't know. He wants to keep it very large, so it makes him happy, and he likes to take care of it. So
yeah, you put this stuff together. Maybe you would have like a YouTube video on showing you how to do some of this stuff. Some tips on like bullet ant farms and stuff. You get like a message. Like it's more like a notifier on your laptop. And it's basically a notifier that everyone gets. It's a bit commercial, like the latest news that's just set up on your laptop. And it's like, Captain Titan back at Gaia's Guardians ? It's basically a link to an article or a video.
Okay. A character probably would be semi-interested and click on it then.
Yeah, so basically it's a video of it's a combination of some news reporters going through the stuff they know. It's like sightings have been stuff has been happening at Gaia's Guardians headquarters. Currently nobody is allowed in except for personnel. Where it was before it was more open spaced. One of the tourists who was inside saw basically a kid when it's basically like a museum you can walk through, even though the heroes stay there sometimes. You can go like on a tour. Like I think it's the same in the White House, right? There's like a White House tour, even though the president still works there. And basically similar, like people say that they saw like in a room, like a random kid opened the door and they saw Captain Tynan in like a hospital bed, with no sludge on her, but still there was some. She seemed like a bit hurt, but not like, oh, she was missing an arm. But yeah, she's like, but like they're denying it. Guy's Guardian is denying. We still haven't found her. please don't put these rumors out there. We're still trying to find her. So they're denying it very hard, but they're still not. That's basically on the news. Like, and people are like discussing like, is she really found? Is it a clone? Should we be worried still? And like some people are very supportive. Like, you know, we shouldn't give up on finding Captain Titan. Please don't make like keep on the search. Like, it's probably like a tag, like keep on the search. And it's like keep on the search for Captain Titan. Yeah, you get that. And like probably there's a video of like, you know, there's this guy who always hassles you and he's like, you know, Captain Titan's in the hospital and it's all the fault of Kenneth Peterson. He should be kept off the streets. And like, yeah, there's like this also attack going like, away with Peterson, like delete the Black Sludge, like that kind of stuff are also like coming up there. And
I can imagine as he hears the stuff, like it'd probably be noticeable that his tail is like doing that thumping thing it did before, you know?
Yeah.
And then when it says like, you know, things like kill Kenneth Peterson, all this, and it's going like showing all that, it would go up once and then as hard as it could slam down on maybe like the chair he has in his room and just actually shatter the chair.
Yeah. Yeah, so let me see. Yeah, I want to end it here a bit, just because, you know, guys, I have a new dog, so for this week I have to go a little bit shorter. Like next week would be probably a bit longer again.
Yeah, fair enough, boss.
There's some things I do want to confirm before we'll do not do after credit scene this time, so we'll finish for. So I will write down for Jip that Pyre was going to Josh to contact Miss Michelle.
Yeah, we could just do that stuff next session.
Yeah, that's why I'm writing down so we don't forget. Let me see here. Yeah, I do want to confirm, like, you guys had 3 bodies still with Sludge on them, like 3 of the minions. They would probably brought into a different facility for research, because there already are some in Paris with Dr. Nano and Midas. But you, like, Entropy still has like some of the leader Sludge in like a big jar. What did he do with that? Did he give it, like, keep it with him, like to show his brother, or is he like, are you gonna give it to your people? Are you giving it to Miss Bashaw? What are you doing?
Oh, now that's a good call. That's actually a good question. Would he give it to his brother or would he give it to Miss Bashaw?
Yeah, like,
he'd probably keep it and give it to his brother, actually.
Yeah, would you mention it to Miss Bashaw, like, you know, I have got this, but I want to show it to my brother first, and let me do this, or are you gonna keep it a secret?
Considering he trusts Miss Bashaw, he would have mentioned that. Yeah, he would mention how he wants his brother to look at it, and then of course he'll see if his brother is willing to give it up so they can look at it.
Yeah, Miss Bashaw would agree to this. Like, she's like, okay, but your brother may decide. Like, she's not like, oh, one of the other elementals, like, show it to your brother and he may decide what happens to it. Like, she trusts your brother in this, knowing that he is order, and she's like, she knows your brother like a bit, probably. He didn't.
They probably talked in general, honestly, because of me being part of the program.
Probably like more like on the phone-ish, or like they haven't been like that much face to face. Because he asked you, could you, like, he wasn't sure he could trust her, like, before he asked you if you could trust her, but she there's some trust from her to him, and she's like, you know, like triple jar, like, you know, put a jar on the jar.
Oh yeah, jar. She made sure that, like,
yeah,
she wanted to make sure that I made sure it was closed good.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions before we stop? Like you want to know or
I don't.
some info?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. So
Same.
sorry for Hydro for the parents thing. I will.
Oh, no worries at
We'll
all.
figure it out. Like I know that if there are some freedoms, I will ask if there's freedom in that kind of way.
My apologies for not being clear in the background.
No, that's fair. Like I know, like last time you said, like someone stabbed you, and like no, something did say, like I gave you freedom there. So I was like, okay, if it's not in the story, you gave me freedom. But yeah, all we'll know for next time. We'll just discuss a bit more. Yeah, everybody, let's say 2 PowerPoints. Good session.
Okay.
We'll maybe, well, yeah, let's start the recording and we'll discuss maybe for 2 minutes.